Welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on Ravelry and Plurk. This is episode 16, ERs are no fun. Grab some sticks and string and come sit with me. So, my week was pretty chill until the weekend happened. And then the drama came. The drama llama drove in. On Friday, my daughter threw a fit while I was cleaning the living room, and sometimes when she throws fits, she throws herself on the ground and slams her head back. Not hard enough to hurt herself when she hits her head, but she does the huh thing. She doesn't hit her head. She learned that pretty quick when she was really little, but she still throws the fit like that. Well, this time she hit her head on a glass that she had just set down on the floor, which was next to a table leg. So the glass shattered and she got a laceration in the back of her head. So we had to go to the ER. This is the first time I've had to take my children to the ER, either of them, which I find a little crazy because Gabriel seems to think he can fly or something. Like when he was 2, we were at a park and some 8-year-old boys were jumping off of a 7-foot drop on the play area, or they were daring each other to, and then one of them did it, and Gabriel, who is almost 2, was like, oh, that's the coolest thing ever, and ran and jumped off and was fine. He hit the ground and tuck and rolled and was awesome. I don't know when exactly he learned to tuck and roll, but he learned that pretty early. So I'm surprised that he wasn't the first to go to the ER and that it was Mara for throwing a fit. She's okay. She has 3 stitches. It was only an inch long, but it was important to take her in and get that all stitched up because it opened pretty wide because it was an inch long. It wasn't very deep, which is good. She seems to be healing fine. She doesn't have any pain. I haven't had to give her any pain medicine at all, so that's good. And then yesterday, I packed up all the stuff and went to my knit group. And one of the things that I was pretty sure that I had packed up was my bag with Amanda's gray thigh highs in them. And then I got there and I got stuff out of my bag, like my wallet, and I bring my mug to get a chai every week. And the bag with Amanda's thigh highs wasn't in my big bag. It's like, okay, well, that's weird. Luckily, I had made sure to throw in a smaller project in case I got tired of working on Amanda's thigh highs, because that happens. It's 2.5 to 3 hours of hanging out. I'm not very good at working on one thing at a time. So I worked on that instead. And then I got home and I looked around and it wasn't there. And I looked through both vehicles because there had been a little bit of an issue with finding keys before I had left, and it wasn't in either vehicle, and I was panicking. So I called Barnes & Noble and I was like, well, maybe. And I called, and the gentleman that I talked to said that they didn't have any bags that matched my description. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, well, have you found a pink sock? Because Cecilia's pink socks that I fixed, a while ago, I lost one. I'm not sure where I lost it. I checked through the cars, I've checked through the house, so I thought maybe I dropped it at the knitting group. And I was like, well, have you found a pink knitted sock by any chance? And he was like, oh, no. And then he was like, oh, wait, did your bag have knitting in it? And I was like, yes. And at the same time, we said gray yarn, and I was like, oh, thank you. I don't know what was difficult about a black rectangular bag that zips on 3 parts of the top, but apparently that just didn't ring a bell. But my knitting was fine, and as I was making dinner, boyfriend ran and got the thigh highs, so they're here, they're safe. I worked on them a little bit this morning. So on to less horrifying news for me. I taught 2 people how to craft this week. I taught my best friend Becca how to knit, and that was really exciting. And then one of boyfriend's friends from work, she comes over almost every Sunday for dinner. Sometimes other people from work come, but not usually, and she does all the time. There's a hair sticking out, and that's bothersome to me. Where is it? I don't even know. Can't get it. There we go. She asked me if I would show her how to crochet. She learned how to chain when she was little. One of her babysitters taught her how to chain with a hook, but that's as far as they got because she just didn't have the patience. So I said, of course I'll teach you how to crochet. So last night she came over. I gave her, you remember these bright orange flowers? Well, I gave her the remainder of the orange ball. So I don't think I'm going to be making any more orange flowers. And she started making a granny square. She wanted to learn how to crochet specifically to make a blanket for, I think it's her aunt who's in a nursing home. I might not be right on that. But I think it's her aunt. So I taught her how to make a granny square, and she got to she finished the third round and started on the fourth, and I told her her homework was to just work on it a little bit every day, and then we would see what was up this coming weekend when she'll have her actual yarn that she's going to use. So that's really exciting. On to the Mom's Day craft along. The requirements are that you make it for someone who's a mom, any definition of mom that works for you. If you would consider them mom, then that's totally legitimate. It can be a new project or a work in progress as long as it's a RAV sanctioned craft. The tag is going to be BPHMOM, Bunny Fish Mom. The prize is still to be determined. There are only 4 votes in the chatter thread. I would like more people to vote before I say, hey, this is the prize that you guys picked. So go ahead, go vote. The options are a pair of socks hand knit by me, a Yarny Goodness prize, a pattern, or something else that you will tell me in the comments. And that will end May 13th, noon my time. That's the day after Mother's Day. So you'll probably be giving your gift away right around then anyway. So I think that, that definitely gives people a long time to work on a project. And I will be talking about what I will be making shortly. And anything that was finished for a mom since last Monday through May 13th counts. On to finished objects. I will start with things that you've seen. Okay, so I finished my 2-color spinning. I'm actually really pleased with the way that it turned out. It is a bulky to a super bulky. I'll take it out of the skein and show you. It's 121 yards, and I didn't reweigh it, but it was 2 ounces of each, so I didn't reweigh it after I washed and thwacked it. There are some spots where it's a little bit thinner, and some spots where it's a little bit thicker. But I did wraps per inch for the thinnest spot that I could find, and then wraps per inch for the thickest spot, and it was 5.5 and 7. So that those fall into the bulky and super bulky ranges according to the wraps per inch thing on Ravelry. Hi Skein, you just don't want to play nice now? No? Okay. Oh, there we go. Back to good. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Probably going to hold on to it for a little while, and then if I don't figure a project for it, I'll probably put it up in my Etsy shop. But I really, really like the colors, how the colors turned out, and I have more of the purple and more of the blue, enough to do this again at least. So I think for next month I am going to spin 4 ounces again, or approximately 4 ounces again, and hopefully get another 120-ish yards to decide whether or not I want to keep it. If any of you are in love with this, you can let me know, because I'm in like with it, but I'm not in love with it. And I would be happy to sell it to you for, you know, a good price. Next project, I did this all on my CD drop spindle, and I used my Coke Box Lazy Kate for the flying. My next project is my star socks. They're done. There's the star on the foot. Here are the stars on the top. This yarn doesn't photograph because the colors are so bright, it doesn't photograph the patterns very well. I am going to knit the top star part on a solid color yarn and take pictures of that when I write up the pattern, which, by the way, the pattern is almost written up to be sent out to test knitters. So if you are interested in test knitting, I only have a few people who have come forward. Right now it's written for toe up, but I am planning on writing it for top down as well. So if you're interested in testing either one of those, let me know. Definitely by March 1st, I'll have the patterns for the toe up, and I'm hoping to have the top down shortly thereafter. Okay, on to my other finished objects, which you didn't see last week. This is, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I woke up at 3:30 because Mara woke up, and then she went back to sleep, and I didn't go back to sleep until 6, and then I woke up at 7. So that whole broken sleep has me. Made this on US size 2.75 millimeter needles, and this is Serenity sock weight in the colorway Surf. Also, the stripes match up. They just didn't right there. There you go. Not that I need my socks to match up stripe-wise, but because I was making these to do a pattern, awesome. Someone dropped a raspberry on it. Since I was making these for the pattern and I wanted them to photograph nicely, I did the stripes to match up. Anyway, I made an owly sleep sack. See, it's got owls in it. It's to put a baby in to cuddle them up. And here's the little owl detail. Aren't they cute? I think they're so cute. Even Steve thinks they're so cute. So, Steve the boyfriend. This is the Owly Sleep Sack by Tressa Cole. I made it using Lion Brand Pound of Love in, I think it's the colorway white. I didn't actually look, but it is a white color. It might be off-white or something like that. I definitely wouldn't say it's a cream, so there's that. I used US size 7, which is 4.5 millimeter needle for that. And then I did 3 can cozies using Red Heart Super Saver in bright yellow and claret. Is that how you say it? I think it's a wine. I don't really drink wine, so I don't know. But I think that's what it's called. So they're all done differently. And then I did 3 can cozies using Red Heart Super Saver in bright yellow and claret. Is that how you say it? I think it's a wine. I don't really drink wine, so I don't know. But I think that's what it's called. So they're all done differently. These are for my mom's friend his daughter is going to college in the fall, and she's going to Central Michigan University. These are the colors. And I wanted them to be all different so that when they're drinking their soda or not soda, nobody mixes up whose cans they are. I thought that would be a smart idea for them. And I actually have one more can cozy to go until the set is complete, but I'm making it for him and not for his daughter. He got 3 for his daughter and then 1 for him, and it is going to be in red, or not red, in yellow and black. So I started these yesterday. These were my project that I did take to knitting. Started them yesterday, finished the 3rd one this morning, started the black and yellow, which I didn't put on my whips list, but yeah, same thing. No pattern, just crocodile stitch and USH 5.0 millimeter hook onto my whips. I only really have 3 this week, trying to knock out my final Nerd Wars challenge, which requires me to do Amanda's thigh highs. But oh my goodness, wait until you see. And then you'll understand why it was so terrifying that I couldn't find them. That's the foot. I'm on the foot. I am so close. It's at 4.5 inches, this right here. And the total length with the toe and everything is 9.5 inches. So yeah, I'm almost done. I can finish this by the 28th. It will happen. I keep telling myself that and hoping that I can make it so. It's not too bad. I think I have 6 more pattern repeats and then the toe. It's not too bad. That is made on Serenity Sock Weight charcoal, colorway charcoal, and US size 1 2.25 millimeter needles. And did I say the pattern? I don't even know. I'm going to say it again just in case. Drafts 117-12. That's the pattern. Also working on the, oh look, you can see it today. The cat hair. Cinderella's Secret Stockings by Ruth Ramanan. Making it out of Knit Picks Stroll in black. This is what's left of the first ball, which isn't too bad because I have 5 balls and this is a little over half of the length of the leg, and it's small. It gets smaller now. I think I have 1 more decrease section and then the pattern stays the same the rest of the way down the leg. So yay, black thigh high. Worked on US size 2 2.75 millimeter needles. And the other thing that I'm working on is the blue thigh highs. I actually just put them back on working needles instead of holder needles because I have 2 sets of 5 double points in this size, and one of them I'm using in the black thigh highs, and the other I'm using for my miter square blanket, my sock yarn blanket. And then I have 1 size 2 circular. So since I was using the size 2 circular for my star socks, I had this on a cable just waiting. But now it's back on the size 2s, and I forgot that it was this long. I really expected it to be half of this length, which was kind of exciting for me, that it was longer than I remembered it being. And it's only gotten a couple rounds, but I will be working on it. It's back in rotation. It's back on something that I'm working on. I didn't do domino spinning, and I didn't work on the lapgan or the snuggle, but the snuggle will get done because that has the deadline of the 28th as well. So I just have to add that back into what needs to be done. I have those 3 projects, a can cozy, and the snuggle that are like needing to be done. So it's only 5 projects on rotation. And since I don't work on anything for a very long time, like for a long length of time at once, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm tired. 5 projects all get rotated throughout the day. I also did work on Steve's quilt, but I didn't feel like bringing it down here because I didn't do that much work. So hopefully this week I'll actually feel like sitting at my sewing machine and I'll have something to show you for real next week. I did work on my sock yarn blanket a little bit. I did 4 squares. I did Peyton's Croy rag shades in gray brown marl. You probably remember this. Still have a lot to go on that one. Serenity sock yarn, Premier Yarns Serenity sock weight in Purple Spice. I don't know why they called this Purple Spice because this does not scream Purple Spice to me at all, but that's what they called it. And then these are both Plymouth Happy Feet in the colorway 1, which is the green, and I'm pretty sure that this pretty super colorful one is color number 2, but don't quote me on that because I didn't look it up. And I made these socks like 2 years ago. So my February goals. I completed the 2-color spinning, Mandy's sweater, the socks for me, and the can cozies will be done today. So I'm counting those. And then I had 3 more. 2 will definitely be completed in time for the end of the month, which is the gray thigh highs. If I have to skip out on sleep for those gray thigh highs, I totally will. And snuggle number 3, they will be completed. I did have an epic fail though in what I wanted to do this month. I did not work on the blanket that I want to make for Marilee at all. Not a single square was made. So I'm hoping to do some of those for next month. Other things that I want to do for March, I want to make my mom the Lazy Katie shawl by Bridget Freyer using this yarn. She picked it out. Someone saw it and it was like $1.25 per skein of this ice yarn, and it is some percent of Angora and some percent of acrylic. Huh. I know that it has the, there's another one that has the full percentage of Angora acrylic. So they found this and I will be making that shawl for my mom. She gave me the yarn to make her a shawl out of and then use the rest for whatever I want. It's either 4 or 6 skeins. I can't remember. I'm sorry. It's been a really long time since she gave that to me. She gave it to me late last year. Not too late. Probably like October-ish. Is that when I visited Michigan? I don't know. But a while ago, and I told her I would make it for her birthday, which is in May, but while I was there for Christmas, she requested socks for her boyfriend for his birthday, which is in March. So I'm just going to finish her shawl and the socks and send them. His birthday's at the end of March. So I'm going to be making him socks using this oak kettle hand-dyed, and I'm not sure what pattern I'm going to use. I'm thinking maybe a Cookie A because her patterns are crazy busy, like pattern-wise, and I don't really have a lot of solids, so that would be a good time to break out a Cookie A. That's what I'm thinking. And his feet are the same size as mine, so it won't be like killing myself to make socks for him. I am also going to be making a pair of socks for myself. I haven't picked out which yarn I'm going to use. I'm probably going to wait until the Nerd Wars challenges, just in case one of them is perfect for one of the yarns that I have. I'm going to do the 2-color spinning again, to tie into the Dramatic Knits 3 to 4 ounce spin along. Every 3 to 4 ounces that you spin, you can put into his spin along. So I'm going to do 4 ounces to match this right here. And hopefully this will be similar. And I am hoping that Marilee is still going to be visiting in March. We haven't talked in a couple weeks. That's pretty typical for us. We'll go for a while without talking and then be like, oh, here's everything that went on in my life. It's good to have friends like that who you don't need to be on the phone with all the time, especially since she and I both hate the phone. She and her roommate Gina said that they were going to visit in March when I was there in January. So I'm hoping that's still true, and I told her friend Gina that I would make her a monster. So I need to do that before they come, if they're coming. Marilee, when you watch this, you let me know if you guys are coming. If you're not, I'm going to be very, very sad, but I understand. But I'll still be very, very sad. Okay, those are all of my ideas for... No, that's not all of my ideas for March. I'm a liar face on accident. I'm also going to be making the... star socks that I designed in Surf. This is what Jerry Pattern Whisperer chose for her handmade socks, and I'm excited to do that. I'm probably going to cast on this evening and use it for the work in progress challenge for Nerd Wars, because I don't really have a lot of works in progress. The gray socks are going to be done, and the black and the gray thigh highs, and the black and the blue thigh highs are for my dissertation, so I can't use those. And I have a monster started. So that's all that I have. So I'm going to start the socks and use those for the works in progress challenge next month. On to new things. I was so good. I was not going to get anything. I wasn't. I didn't have any intent to go to the store or anything. I was on Etsy and I was like, oh, that would be so fun to get there's a seller doing a grab bag where you get 2 skeins of yarn for $25 plus shipping to like actual skeins of yarn, but you don't get to choose what you're getting. So it's a super good price, but you might hate the yarn. But I was willing to take that chance, and then I was like, well, I don't really need it. If that listing stays up for a while, though, I'm probably going to get it, because I think that would be really, really fun to get a surprise yarn. But I didn't get it. And then yesterday, Becca and I hung out, and I crocheted and she knitted. And then I was driving her. We were talking about her knitting. I taught her how to knit using my boy interchangeables, which, yes, I know they're not awesome. But when I got them, I didn't know about all the interchangeables. Like that, those were the first... Well, I got a set of double points from Walmart. I think they're boy double points. And then I was like, well, I kind of want other knitting needles, and I hear interchangeables are good, and that's what Michael's had, so that's what I got, because I didn't know any better. And I set her up with a 16-inch cable size 8 because she wanted to make a hat, and she was having problems with the join. Would catch every few stitches, so it was really slowing her down. So I was like, well, is knitting something you're going to be keeping up with? Do you really like it? And she was like, oh yeah, I really like it. She has spent probably somewhere between 10 and 15 hours knitting in this past week since I taught her how to knit. So she's clearly bit by the knitting bug. So I was like, well, do you want to go to Joann's and get needles? Our local yarn store was closed, so that wasn't an option. And I had a 40% off coupon. And she was like, okay. So we went, and I showed her the different types of needles that were there, and she got the size 8, the bamboo, I think it's Clover. She really likes them. I was texting her last night. She was like, oh my goodness, these new needles are amazing. The stitches just go. It's a little bit weird because she was using metal and now she's using bamboo and it's a little more grippy, but she likes them a lot. And she also grabbed a size 1 9-inch circular. I've never used a 9-inch circular to make socks, so I was pretty intrigued and she thought the idea was really interesting. So I was like, oh yeah, you're gonna make socks now? And she was like, well, yeah, I think that would be a good second project. I was like, oh, bitten by the knitting bug. And she said, shut up. And then I was like, well, do you want to go look at sock yarn? Because you know I have a sock yarn problem. I love sock yarn so much. Makes me happy. Anyway, we went and we looked at the sock yarn and she ended up getting Serenity sock weight in the colorway Violas, which I have some of, and it's been in my sock yarn blanket, and it will be in my sock yarn blanket again, so you'll see the colorway then. Or maybe I'll have Becca over for the show. That would be exciting. She picked up Violas so she could make herself some knee highs. I made my sister a pair of socks out of that yarn. So, Mandy, I love your Violas socks, by the way. I think those are my favorite ones that I've made for you, except the ones that I made out of this yarn. This yarn will probably be my favorite for you always, those socks, but I do like the Violas a lot. Anyway, while we were there, all of the sock yarn was on sale except this. This is the Lion Brand Sockies, and it was not on sale, which I was excited about because everything was on sale for 25% off, and I had a 40% off coupon. So I got this for 40% off. I have been wanting this color, this rock candy. This gray, this light gray, is kind of a purpley gray, and then there are shoots of this like browny purpley gray color and the yellow, and I've just wanted it for a really long time. You remember I bought the pink yarn that I ended up using for Cecilia socks. I bought that instead of this because Gabriel chose that instead, but I've been wanting this for months. I think it's super pretty, and it's going to be socks for me, next year. But I had a coupon and I almost didn't buy it. We were in line and I was like, oh, I really want that yarn and I have a coupon. And she was like, just do it. Just go get it. Go ahead, just do it. And I was like, oh, I really shouldn't. And she was like, yes, you should. Just go get it. So I was like, I hate you so much. And she said the enabler has been enabled. So I went and got it, and now I have it. And I think I'm going to see if I can borrow her 9-inch sock needle to just try out. Because she's being so good right now. She's being so good. She bought the yarn and the needles for the socks, but she is not going to start socks until she finishes her hat. We'll see how long that works out. But if she's not going to be using her needles, I'm going to be casting on 3 pairs of socks for next month. So I would like to try her needles for one of them. I'm sure she'll let me. Okay, that is my really, really long drawn out story for this is my new thing. This week, I'm still listening to Anna Karenina. I just wasn't in a book listening mood. I listened to a lot of podcasts last week, not so much book. So I'm still listening to that. I'm so close to done though. I think I'm on disc like 25 of 27. Maybe I'll listen to that this afternoon while this is uploading and stuff. I also read the book Whip It. There's a movie that was based on it, and I don't remember the author's name. Sheena something. It'll be in the show notes. It was really, really good. If you haven't seen the movie, it's about a girl who lives in a middle of nowhere town in Texas, and she goes to Austin with her friend. pretty sure she and her friend go out there, and that's how she first finds out about it. And anyway, she secretly joins a roller derby roller derby team. Can you see how awake I am? Look at these bags. Yeah. Roller derby team. Meanwhile, her mom wants her to be a pageant star. So it's really interesting. There's a lot about teenage rebellion and angst and stuff, and it's written in a very teenager voice, which I really appreciated. It was really, really good. It was a pretty quick read. And I finished that yesterday, so I started The Haunting of, I don't know how you would say that, Elizabeth Cray by Chris Wooding. It's the person who wrote Malice, and I'm not very far in it. See, here's my bookmark. Just started it. But it's pretty good so far. It's the premise is that London has monsters who are like, they're called witchkin, and the main character is Daniel something, and he finds a girl while he's hunting for a witchkin, and she's like crazy. She ends up being not crazy, I think. I don't know, I'm only 39 pages in. Hi, baby girl. Don't mind her hair. That is because she has stitches, and we're not supposed to get them wet. I washed her hair the day after she got the stitches to get most of the blood and stuff out, and the antiseptic ointment and stuff, all the ickies. But her hair is really only combable right after she gets her hair washed and conditioned, and so right now it's just a big rat's nest because I'm waiting until tomorrow to wash it again, so that'll be 3 days in between washings so her stitches can stay dry. There's nothing for the baby noise, sorry. It's pretty good so far. Of course, last night I was reading it and I finished the chapter right where someone gets attacked by a witchkin, so I was like, awesome, that's where I'm gonna stop, but I was too tired to keep reading. So yes, that was where I was going to stop. And I read one more thing, which I am going to do a little bit of a review, not a review, but I guess like a show and tell. Here, have that instead. Put the juice down. Thank you. Knit a Baby Nursery by Rebecca Danger. This is pretty new. My library just got it. I was on the wait list for it when it was being ordered to come. And I'm not going to do like a real review or anything, but I'm going to show you a couple things that I just think are too cute for existence. If I can get to my tags. Okay, so this Monster Mobile. How cute! How cute is that? Look at how adorable that is. That is a great idea. I wish that someone I knew in real life was having a baby. I mean, I know this owl sleep sack is for a baby, but I don't know if the recipient would be into monsters. Whereas if any of my friends got pregnant, they would be like, yes, monsters, that's awesome. These are, wrong page. These are monster bookends, and I think they're really cute, and I might make some for Gabriel, actually. They're really easy, obviously. Thank you. Where'd you put my cup of water? On the floor, not spilled. Good job. I think those are super cute. Monster pillows. Look at how cute. I love them, and I will probably make at least one project out of this book before I have to return it to the library. So yeah, not a review at all, just a look at how cute this is. Go check it out from your library, or go buy it if you're really into making monsters. I am not super into making monsters. Here, look at the back. There's some more pictures of the projects. See the pillows, and there's the sweater pattern, and then these blocks right here. yeah, blocks and a stacking toy. Really, really, really cute, especially if you like monsters and you or someone you know is having a baby. I would recommend checking that out. On to my list 03. Here comes Gabriel. I have podcast recommendations for you this week. Yarnivore, which I've talked about with the Snuggle Knit Along. It's hosted by Sadie. She is right now in the process of moving from Canada to the US. She recorded her 100th episode this week. She's really, really entertaining. It's worth going back to episode 1 and watching the whole process. I really enjoy watching her podcast. And with her knitting content, at the end of almost every show, she gives a music recommendation. So that is worth watching. She puts little YouTube videos into her show notes in the blog. So definitely worth watching. This week I also finished watching Exchange Student in Fiberland. The host is Mary Gale. She is the brains behind Spartacus Dies, which you might remember I got that skein called Scandalous that was black with a lot of flecks of little colors through it. And her podcast is based on the idea that even though she is part of the knitting community, she's still relatively new, and a lot of things are like being in a different country, like a country that speaks your language, but not all of the words mean the same things. So it's really, really cute. She's adorable. I highly recommend checking out her podcast. And then the last one is kind of newish. I think her latest podcast was number 10, and it is Mel Tran Designs Knitting Corner. If you watch 90% Knitting and you have seen information about the Diersta shawl, I think that's how you say it. Sorry if I messed that up. Melissa is the designer behind that, and she talks about her knitting and what she's been designing, and sometimes her kids make appearances and they're super cute. It's a really enjoyable watch. She's up on YouTube. All 3 will be in my show notes. The other 2 are on Blip. I hope that you have made something fantastic with your sticks and string. Thank you for sitting with me for another week, and I hope you'll come back next week. Bye.